17 minutes before 4 o'clock. That is the Chief of Police in Ottawa, Canada, and we want to listen in. He's holding a news conference right now.
Their actions are a testament to our common resolve to protect our city. At this time, the area around the National War Memorial continues to be cordoned off. It will be reopened soon. All Ottawa police facilities have been reopened to the public, with our regular services being offered. As the investigation continues, and in the days ahead, we must continue to remain vigilant to the realities that we face. Our officers are supporting the RCMP's investigation into this matter. I've reached out to our multi-faith community leaders with a message of support and a reaffirmation of our commitment to everyone's safety and security. We ask that the entire community continue to be vigilant, as well as report any suspicious incidents by calling police. You've already seen an increased presence of police in key areas of the city. That increased presence will continue in the days ahead as we ensure all necessary resources are deployed. Our members are fully committed to the security of the community, and we will keep the city safe. En français maintenant. Ottawa est une ville sécuritaire. Les membres de notre service sont dévoués à la protection de cette communauté et celle de chacun des résidents. Tout comme les membres des forces canadiennes protègent nos pays à l'étranger, nous sommes ici pour les protéger chez nous. Pour garder cette ville en sûreté, nous disposons d'un solide partenariat.
Chief of Police of Ottawa, Canada, talking about the city more than 24 hours after that terrorist attack. That was how it was branded yesterday by the Prime Minister of Canada, in which a 32-year-old man first shot and killed a Canadian member of the armed forces, shot him in the back at the War Memorial, then ran the half-mile or so up to the Parliament House and got inside, apparently walked right in an entrance that was normally set aside for the members of Parliament, at which security apparently was considerably lessened, walked inside, was confronted, and shot it out with the man who is the Sergeant-at-Arms for the Parliament. The Sergeant-at-Arms shot and killed that suspect. You heard from the police chief there that they intend to open up the War Memorial, which has become now sacred ground for a lot of Canadians, and also the spot at which an impromptu memorial has sprung up. Lots of flowers laid on the steps there of that memorial, including a garland by the Prime Minister earlier today. And this was the scene earlier in the House of Commons, or I should say the Canadian Parliament. There is no House of Commons and House of Lords. That's the Canadian Parliament, and that is the gentleman right there, the Sergeant-at-Arms, a very brave man who apparently confronted the gunman and shot him with his handgun. He was honored with, by our watch, at least a 2-minute standing ovation this morning when Parliament convened. And Kevin Vickers, as the applause continued to swell, the coverage tightened in on him a little bit, and you could see that his eyes started to get a little watery. He was carrying that gold ceremonial mace on his right shoulder, and then the lawmakers applauded and pounded their desks, which is sort of their traditional sign of affirmation. For the white-haired former Mountie, hailed as a hero for shooting the gunman who'd stormed Canada's seat of power just a day earlier. At first expressionless and motionless, then Vickers eventually responded to the ovation with slight nods of his head. This is the head of the RCMP's, Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Let's listen in.
We want to provide an update on certain aspects of the terrible events that unfolded yesterday in downtown Ottawa and on Parliament Hill. Foremost, I would like to extend condolences on behalf of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police to the friends and family of Corporal Nathan Cirillo. Our sympathies are with his friends and our friends in the Canadian Forces who have tragically lost another member of their family this week to senseless violence. Our thoughts are also with those who sustained injuries in yesterday's incident and those who were kept from their loved ones during the tense hours of lockdown while police searched for other possible suspects. Nos pensées accompagnent aussi les personnes qui ont été blessées dans l'incident hier et celles qui, dans un climat tendu, ont été tenues loin de leur être chers pendant des heures. Alors que la police imposait le confinement, le temps de chercher d'autres suspects possibles. As we all now know, the suspect has been identified as Michael Joseph Zihaf Bibo, 32 years old. He is a Canadian citizen, and we have information that he may have had dual Libyan-Canadian citizenship. He was born in Montreal and has lived in Calgary and most recently in Vancouver. Here is what the RCMP knew about Zihaf Bibo before the incidents. We were aware that he had applied recently for a passport, and we were contacted to conduct background checks. The RCMP did not possess information at that time that would reveal any national security-related criminality. His criminal records indicated infractions related to drugs, violence, and other criminal activities. The RCMP also had uncorroborated information suggesting that he had associations with an individual who was known to us. I can confirm that Zihaf Bibo was not one of the 90 high-risk travelers that the RCMP is currently investigating. According to some accounts, he was an individual who may have held extremist beliefs. La GRC avait aussi de l'information non confirmée qui laissait entendre qu'il était associé à un individu.
The head of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police there, with maybe the most important bit of information that we have received this afternoon about the suspect in this case, Michael Zihaf Bibo, in which we learned that he, first of all, was not on that watch list of the 90 Canadians with whom they were keeping very close tabs. But this guy, Zihaf Bibo, was apparently holder of dual citizenship. He was both a Canadian and a Libyan. It is being reported that he was a recent convert to Islam. The gunman who invaded Parliament and was eventually shot and killed by the sergeant-at-arms vicar.
There were concerns at the initial stage of the emergency response that there may have been more than one individual involved. Our partners at the Ottawa Police Service and the RCMP agreed that yesterday Zihaf Bibo acted alone and that he is the same person that perpetrated the attacks at both the National War Memorial and on Parliament Hill. The investigation is ongoing and will rapidly determine if Zihaf Bibo received any support in the planning of his attack. We have no information linking the two attacks this week in Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu and in Ottawa. Our investigation has not revealed any link between Zihaf Bibo and Martin Couture-Rouleau, the individual who perpetrated the attack against a member of the Canadian Forces in Quebec. Nous n'avons aucune information qui permette de lier les deux incidents tragiques survenus cette semaine à Saint-Jean-sur-le-Richelieu et à Ottawa.
And again, we're sort of bouncing back and forth, Canada being a bilingual country. Things done in English first and then in French. And again, the RCMP commander saying that there's no link to what Zihaf Bibo did yesterday and that attack in Quebec earlier in which a man was shot and killed after he had run down two uniformed members of the Canadian Armed Forces, killing one.
Playing for you a video on how events unfolded yesterday, and then I'll explain more in more detail. The video that you'll see is the scene at the entrance to the parliamentary precinct on Elgin. You'll see individuals who seem to be recoiling westward down the street from the incidents at the memorial. You'll see shortly a vehicle pull up. This is the suspect carrying a weapon, running through the bollards and up towards the East Block. Another view of the same transaction. Again, the individual seemed to have recoiled or backed away from the disturbance at the memorial. the same entrance, different view. The circle indicates the car as it approaches. One of the pedestrians even approaches the car. As the suspect exits bearing his firearm, people run away. You'll see now the view to the east block. He runs towards those vehicles that are parked there. The lead vehicle is a minister's vehicle that is occupied by a driver. The suspect goes around to the front of the car. There's some exchange with the driver. The vehicle backs up slightly. The driver exits the vehicle and runs away. The suspect then drives towards center block. It is at this point that those actions were noticed by RCMP officers. That vehicle that is moving with the door open and pursuing the suspect vehicle. So you see the green bus that goes by, one RCMP vehicle, the second RCMP vehicle, there'll be a third. You'll be able to see the suspect run in to the center block. Our officers are in pursuit. I can tell you that as he gets to the door of the center block, there's an exchange of gunfire with the House of Commons security officers. Our officers back up slightly as that shooting takes place and then pursue him inside. Another view of the vehicle, the minister's vehicle approaching center block. You can see police officers pursuing him into the door. So now I'll go in through some a little bit more detail. Witnesses interviewed by the Ottawa Police Service reported seeing the shooter at around 9:50 coming from behind the War Memorial on the west side, where he fires twice at reservist Nathan Cirillo. The shooter is positioned on an angle behind the victim where they cannot see him coming as they are facing south. The shooter fires one shot at the second guard, but he missed him. Witnesses heard the suspect yelling something that we don't know what it is in English and then running towards the north. The investigation revealed that he used the beige vehicle and headed to Wellington. The first calls received via 911 were at around 9:52:36. From the National War Memorial, the suspect drove north on Wellington Street and parked his vehicle at 9:52:23 in front of the Elgin entrance, which we've just seen on the video, and you'll be able to see the slides as we go through the chronology. He accessed the grounds of Parliament Hill at 9:52:31 on foot and started running towards the east block, where members of Parliament's vehicles were parked. At 9:53:16, video footage shows the suspect overtook one of these vehicles and drove towards center block. At 9:53:37, he immobilized the vehicle on the left side of the Peace Tower and started running towards the main doors of center block.